Alright, what's up guys? It's Frank, and today I am doing something a little bit different. We're doing replays from Untapped, but only from Gold and Platinum Leagues. So this is going to be hopefully the start of a different playlist on the YouTube where it's just Meta League replays, and then we can kind of break them down and do some analysis, and hopefully people can come back and like listen to them, look at different mistakes that they make, and yeah, just learn from them. I'm gonna start off by saying that I love that these Bobs went for the slimes first and are building the command post here. It's a little off center, so I'm not too crazy about that because the mining efficiency really does take a hit if you're off center and you're not perfectly diagonal or vertical. But let's see. Today is going to be very Vanguard focused, so it's just going to be Vanguard replays. They're not all going to be victories. Some of them are going to be losses, and yeah, it'll be a learning experience for everyone. I think that and truthfully, 1v1 is frustrating if you're not good, and I think the best way to see a spike in your skill level is just to start watching your own replays. Um, when you're in the moment and you have imperfect knowledge and you're like, uh-oh, this is, you're just trying to like do macro, keep your units alive, go get camps and do all this other stuff. It's one thing, but like when there's no more pressure and you can actually sit back and analyze your own gameplay, I think that's when you really start to get better at the game. All right, first Rax is done. We see the Bob clearing out these trees. I wonder if that's just to let army through, or if that's maybe an escape route in case the Bobs need to get back there. Because it's not like any of these Bobs are returning Luminite to the sides of the command post. So I don't know what the purpose is behind that, but we are going to see a couple of Fiends, a couple of Brutes, and the Hexen come up, maybe for a little bit of early aggression. They're gonna camp out right next to the cabbage camping, as all the other pro gamers call it. I would know as a definitely for sure professional video game knower. I'm a bit of a knower, if you guys haven't noticed. Um, yeah, so the shadow demons are going down, and the dog gets trapped in there. That's a bummer. Yeah, if you're gonna try and do some snipes like that, you got to be able to have a route out as well. And with that many fiends, I almost just wouldn't risk it. It's almost not worth sacrificing the scout to try and snipe some of those shadow demons. And this is still looking pretty scary. I don't know that there's any good defense here. He's hiding his lancers in the trees. That's interesting. Okay, so a bunch of fiends show up to harass the habitat. Cancels the habitat. I like it. I don't think he needed to necessarily. But I really love that sentry post right there. Not only is it going to be good for in case he needs a repair medic, but having a buzzsaw cannon that can shoot to the low ground is going to be super nice, or a flat cannon for that matter. Yeah, sentry turret's my favorite unit in the game. Meanwhile, the Infernal player is just going to be running around, taking a third, actually. I like it. I like it. I myself an Infernal main. Wow. I'm an Infernal main. There we go. Oh, actually, I need to grab a screenshot of the portrait of the Felhog. Oh, but you don't get the portrait unless you're actually playing the game. Ah, that's too bad. I was going to use a Felhog portrait for a Twitch emote. Okay, now for this, I think our Infernal player's a little light on army to be trying to take on the Luminite camp. Yeah, his brutes are pretty well mashed up, and he's only got 2 fiends, so his offense potential is staying not that scary, just by nature of how beat up he kind of is right now. And going for the Therium next. Get the cabbage! Get the cabbage! I'll get that cabbage counter up and running one of these days, guys. Any day now. Any day now. I know the other day we did the Venom Trap showcase where we saw like a very early ritual chamber and Hexen's just like throwing Venom Traps all over the map, and it ended up being really cool. And that I think it really is more efficient now that I think about it, especially for the lower tier camps, like the ones that are just slimes or just the speed camp dogs. Being able to infest all of them at once, I think you just end up with a lot more fiends, and it's just better, flat out. Okay, so it's still a command post. Interesting. He's using his main for the central command. I think at the higher levels we see the natural turn into the central command, and now he's actually getting out on the map. He's got some exos on him with quick draw. He doesn't have kinetic redirection though on his lancers, which I think is a mistake. Let's see where it goes. All right, this is a lot of exos, but I don't think there's not, well, okay, right when I say that, I was almost going to say that, well, there's not really enough heavy tagged units to warrant that many exos, but there are that many brutes. What's really scary though is that he doesn't have enough lancers that could screen for the exos, because the moment the infernal player sees all those exos, what he should do is pop all of them, turn them all into fiends, which are light tagged, and then flank around and start taking out the exos, which are, I mean, individually they're not expensive, but if you can take out a whole bunch of them, that's a lot of supply that's gone. It's a lot of firepower that's gone, and then you might be forced. There's kinetic redirection. Oh, there's the gaunt drop. Is he going to be able to get the Harbinger? He does, and it was fully loaded. Woo! What a snag! What a snag! Nice grab. Good map awareness there. Or maybe he was just lucky that he retreated home. I don't know. A couple of fiends being annoying over here at the vision camp, and actually it's really nice to see someone coming out to defend their vision camp. The vision camp is highly underrated, I think. I think it was a bit of a mistake also by the Infernal player to send 5 fiends out. Really, 1, maybe 2 is all you need. And then if something comes out to defend, you just leave. Fiends can add quite a bit of DPS if they're not at the front line. Like if they're not the first thing to attack and there's other things that are tanking shots for them. And if they can sit there, they're... I mean, functionally, they're just Stormgate Zerglings. So they attack quickly, they move quickly, but they are made out of seaweed paper. Oh, nice Nightfall Infestation goes down. And all these Weavers that are out now kind of need a, yeah, they kind of need a lot more Lancers to take care of them. All these Brutes, though, should be getting kited down pretty quickly. Oh, yeah, and that was a permanent effigy that's down. Loses an Exo. Yeah, now we're starting to see what the fiends are doing when they have an opportunity to rush in and get close. Both players, by the way, floating so many resources. Oh my Vanguard, you have so much Luminite. You are so rich, dude. You need to spend. So I'll notice that's something else. If it's not. Well, I know Exos are a very stutter-steppy, kind of micro-intensive unit that require your APM. But if you're on the front door right here, take, 4 seconds to hit the W key and just start training a bunch of stuff. Like, set the rally point to right here and start training Lancers, because I know you have a ton of barracks. Let's go back and look. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 barracks. Okay, he is turning out units. But it looks like it's all Exos. The Lancers would chew through those Weavers a lot faster than the Exos ever will. And they provide a much better front line, especially against these Gaunts. Yeah. Yep, kites out the magma. Nice job. Good stutter step. Also taking out weavers. Oh, taking out that... Well, let's see here. What are the upgrades like? Yeah, those are fully upgraded gaunts. So the Hexen's not as important. And the Dragon's already out at 10 minutes. Time to leave. Time to leave. You need some anti-air, my friend. Oh, but he's just... It feels like he's just stuck on Exos. He's absolutely addicted to Exos here. Losing all of his veteran Exos, too. The veterancy makes a huge difference in your crowd. If you've got, like, 4 or 5 veterans, that's a lot more damage than, you know, just these fresh recruits. I don't know what you call them. Rookies? Is that the rank here? Yeah, it doesn't have a rank, I guess. And he gets chased all the way back to his home, to his natural. Now, throw an Exo into that sentry post because it's going to have massive range. There we go. Nicely done. Yeah, but our Infernal player knows better than that. He doesn't want to chase into it. He knows he did a ton of damage to these Exos, and he can just yeah, he feels safe enough to take a 4th. Excuse me, a 5th. What? Yeah, that's technically his 4th, even though it's just a Ethereum mine, but that's fine. I've never seen an Infernal player float that much Ethereum before, but it does kind of make sense. All these Exos getting radioactive blooded. Getting the radioactive blood debuff. However you want to call it. There you go. Getting great value out of this, out of the health camp, but it still seems like he's not making anything but Exos, and I don't know if that's just because of the meme that, you know, when Exos were just way, way, way OP or what, but, yeah, there's different units in the game for a reason. Hearing that something is OP is much different than just being able to hold down the Exo button, A move, and win. If anything, a lot of this, like, the majority of this army is all light tagged. Getting, okay, yeah, we do see a couple Lancers there. Oh, they're all gonna get stunned. I think the Nightfall Infestation only hit a few of them, though. Yeah, look at how many shots that Spriggan takes to go down. Because it's light tagged. And Exos, here we go, have a... I mean, it's +6. So it's a 50% bonus damage to heavy. But that's before like all the armor calculations come into play, and that gets a little bit complicated. But yeah, for example, right there, some bobs healing up a... Oh no! I do like that the bobs are healing a little bit as they go back through the health camp, but a buzzsaw cannon right here firing down on the weavers and the gaunts would have been really good with support by the bobs. We've seen some heal hugs here. We are. Friendship is nice. Alright, stutter stepping back. Good use of the Nightfall Infestations, by the way. I think he knows he's already got his dragon out, so unless he's going to be super greedy and go for another dragon, he really doesn't need a second one. So using as many Nightfall Infestations as he is actually working out really nicely for him. Again, this is just far too many Exos. I get it, like that range on a unit that has like a relatively high rate of fire is pretty good, but like that doesn't mean that this is the only unit that you can build. In fact, I don't think we saw a single mech bait, did we? Oh, there's System Shock coming out for the medtechs as well, but this is the last of our Vanguard players' army. I think we should be seeing GG here pretty soon. We're going to see everything. Yeah, production's getting camped. Flat Cannon's getting great damage in. If anything, it needs to be focusing down the gaunts to be doing that AoE damage, but nope. There's no GG. Our Vanguard player just leaves the game. And, yeah, off to our next match. Alright, guys, here we are in the second game of our first ever Metal League Mondays for Vanguard players. And... yeah, this dog is going to get good vision. We are going to see the barracks finish first for red. That's because it's because blue's going for what looks like an expand first. So red's going to have his lancer out very quickly. But we see the Bob overcharge here in the main to get the barracks up first, or to get it up faster anyway, which is pretty interesting, honestly. Okay, is he going to? All right, the overcharge isn't up. I think it went up a little bit early. I don't think it matters all that much, truthfully. Like the Bob's finished building it before the overcharge is over, so he still has a little bit of wiggle room. All right, there we see a 150 finished command post for blue. Red's over here getting his mech bay up really quickly. I wonder if so it's always interesting watching. I imagine it's always interesting watching Meta League replays. Truthfully, this is the first time I've ever sat down and made a concerted effort to do it. But you know what? I wish. Oh, it's a straight zoom in. I remember in Warcraft 3 and I think StarCraft 2, the camera would actually the camera angle would change so you could look at it more horizontally. Sells off his barracks. Interesting choice. Interesting choice. But yeah, kind of like looking at this sideways would be pretty interesting to watch. Alright, first Hedgehog is out. Red player uses Bob Overcharge, and he's only going to send 4 to build his pocket expand. But we see player 1's been sitting on his second expansion here for quite a while. Is this going to be a set? Yes! Yes, please be a repairmatic. Okay, so the barracks is up. Mech Bay just finishes. And you got to start building army units now. Okay, the first Hedgehog is coming out. Oh, and the scout got caught by the Hedgehog. Bummer. I just thought of a really bad idea. Here we are at the no, this is going up on YouTube. I can't say that. Anyway, yeah. So it looks like a pretty slow start from both. I did like that blue had a scout kind of over here where the health camp used to be on Ruination and was trying to peek in and have a look around. I think, yeah, he might have even done damage to that one Bob. Oh, and we do have a repairmatic here for the Hedgehog. Yeah, and I think player 2 seeing that yeah, you want to be doing damage to that Lancer just because it takes the bonus damage. Yes, the repairmatic is so good. It's so good. I love it. And there really wasn't that much seen by player 2. Red Vanguard only just saw like the ramp. I don't think he actually got to see any of the scouting information here. Now there is this this side path you can take, like kind of on the north and the south. Where is it here? Oh, you have to break down these trees though. Yeah, if you break down these trees behind the Shadow Demons. Actually, I think you might be able to walk through here. Yeah, it looks like you can. And you have to take a long road, but you can eventually get to someone's natural like that. Meanwhile, instead of staring at trees, these guys are actually having a fight. Now, Algorithmor, famed math guy in the chat, not in this chat, in the Discord chat, he once told me that 3 is more than 2. So if you have 3, you'll do more damage than the guy with 2. And I think we're kind of watching that play out. Pretty high level mathematics stuff. I don't expect the average Twitch viewer to understand. But yeah, that was kind of what that little skirmish was. Kind of funny to watch 2 Hedgehogs chase away 3, but that all sorted itself out. And yeah, it looks like it's going to be Lancer Hog. This is super interesting too. I don't really see Vanguard players building their upgrade and their production structures this close to their command structure. Not that it's bad. It's just it's interesting to see that happen more in the lower leagues than in the higher leagues. Do we see actually, speaking of labs, do we have a mech lab out yet? I don't think we do. Hedgehogs with range are so much better than their unupgraded counterparts. There you go. Kite the Lancers. Kite the Lancers. Nice. Alright, Blue. Yeah, you understand how your units work. I like it. Bop, 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 bop. Oh, you can keep chasing. You can keep chasing. What do you need the vision for? You know where your opponent's at. He's running away from you. I do also appreciate that Player 1 and Player 2, both of the Vanguard players in this match, are keeping their resources kind of low. They're not spending their orbital energy as much, which is interesting, and they're at the exact same amount. So they both used a Bob Overcharge, but I don't know if they've used any spells since then. I think some promotes might be in order, or maybe a fidget spinner to go scout. I don't know. Something. The Greater Jerboa over here doing some acrobatics for us. Very kind of him. Thank you, Mr. Jerboa. Alright, so now it's Lancer Exo Hedgehog. I almost never see hedgehogs and lancers in the same composition, just because they're so close to being the same unit that I typically in the pro replays that I see, I typically only see one or the other. But truthfully, at the higher levels, I barely even see exos being made. It's mostly just hedgehogs, because their move speed is just so nice. They can show up, do some harass. If something shows up to try and defend it, then alright, Hornets have been scouted. If something tries to show up to defend it, the hedgehogs are fast enough that they can just scoot on out. And I gotta give props where gotta give credit's due. Player 1's doing a fantastic job clearing out these creep camps. He's maxed out on orbital energy though, so he's got to spend some of it. And you know, there's a maximum cap, and if you wanna get good value out of it, you gotta not be completely maxed out on it. Going for the bobs. I don't know about that one. He's focusing down the exos. No, I think it's time to leave. Yep, you've overstayed your welcome. Get out before you get boxed in. Yeah, loses one, loses another one. Really just threw away all of his hedgehogs there. I think he could have gotten out with like 4 or 5. Yeah, kind of knowing when you've overstayed your welcome is a valuable skill to have. Now these Hornets going up against a hedgehog-heavy army. Oh, he gets out just before the hedgehogs can see him. Now getting a backdoor with this many Hornets to nuke down a Luminite line should be a pretty juicy grab. Ooh, lordy. Okay, yep. Alright, the bobs are immediately evacuated. Okay, smart. Okay, the sentry turret gets turned into a flat cannon. Oh no, these Hornets fly over all those exos, and one does go away. One does explode. But they're doing a return to base, so they're flying home super quickly. And here we go. Sky Sprint retrofit. Interesting. So that's an evac upgrade. I've literally never seen the evac upgrade get researched before. That's interesting. Okay. Do we see... But we don't see the hedgehog upgrade. What's going on? And peak performance. Oh, yeah. That was actually kind of cool. Alright. Again, with the diagonal to the Luminite mine. I don't like it, if we're being completely honest here. Yeah, I just don't like it. It's that simple. the mining efficiency drop from building your command post diagonal to this is huge. And I get he's being max efficient with Therium just to get his command structure as close to the Therium as possible. But he's not hurting for Therium. Oh boy, no, 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 no! Flying over Exos is never good. You do have to commit to this though. Yeah, okay, and it's interesting that player 2 is treating Exos like Marines, in that they're like the preferred anti-air unit, but they're really not. And we see another return to base here. I think player 1 was worried that player 2 was going to continue the aggression despite him wanting to go back and despite him being able to go back and harass the worker lines. All right, so we finally have a high command out. What are we really getting out of that? All right, a couple atlases are up. That's cool. I'm loving all these mech upgrades actually. So he got the evac speed upgrade, but we don't see an evac yet on the map. Woo! Nice hits from this from the Atlas. The Repair-O-Matic putting in as much work as it can get. And now the Hornets can give chase a little bit. Hedgehog, you're drunk. Go home. Okay, yeah, that was a lot of player 2 cleaned up there, and we're really starting to see the supply disparity. Player 1 floating nearly 2k Luminite, needs to start spending more, and both of these players, I don't know if it's just an indication of the league that we're in, but they're maxed out on orbital energy, and they're not regenerating anymore. They need to spend some of it. Spend it on promotes, spend it on overcharges to like build stuff. Just spend it. Spend it. It's really good. And promote is free, like, extra DPS for everything. Oh, what was it? Oh, is this going to be, is Atlas evac? Was it meant to be? Yeah, there must have been an Atlas drop while I wasn't looking. I apologize. What is this? A couple more mech bays? Yep. Alright, first helicarrier on the map. Let's see. Alright, automatically goes for building the bombers. I'm interested in hearing what everyone has to say about whether or not helicarriers should be auto-building bombers. Yeah, because it seems like the helicarrier just doesn't function without them. And I get that... You know what, actually? I think it'd be kind of a cool upgrade if... let's see here. Oh, covert bombers is the upgrade that it gets. I think covert bombers should be... Excuse me, 1 minute, guys. Woo. Okay. Oh, where's my cup of water? Oh, it's missing. Anyway, no, what I was saying before is, I think covert bombers should be the tier 3 upgrade. And then the first upgrade that a helicarrier should get is you just start off with all 3 bombers. No one likes just kind of like waiting around for the bombers to get built. And the helicarrier doesn't really function without them. And building them is kind of a trivial thing. And it really doesn't impact the game unless there's like units that show up at your doorstep and yeah, you need to get a bombing run out like right that instant. It doesn't affect the game. So why not just have them like start with all the bombers instead of having them go through that that Not every day we see a base race scenario. It looks like survival protocol is active on the exos of player 2. The boys have been pulled, and they're going to start trying to do some damage to the exos here. The Hornets from on high are going to try and get some damage as well. And it looks like we're going to see one that's like going to do a dance and shoot. That's a little bit odd. No! Vulcan just dancing. Another Vulcan just taken out, caught dancing. And, yeah, so the helicarriers are kind of doing work. It's rejection shells. They don't do any bonus damage at all. And they attack ground. Oh no, they attack both air and ground. Interesting. Flat Cannon's going to try and get some work done as well, but I think the base race is actually going to go to player 2 here. Yeah, so many exos survived. Let's see here. And survival protocol is still on cooldown for another minute or so. Were all these bombs cleaned up? They may have been. It doesn't matter though. Just by nature of oh no, get that Hornet into combat. There we go. You know what? I take it back. It looks like the tide's turning. It looks like Blue Vanguard is going to be able to take it. He's got a lot more firepower with all these Vulcans. All of his helicarriers are going to do, well, decent damage anyway. I don't think they do all that much damage with their auto attacks. But I think that was just the end of the game. I don't know who tapped out first. I know. Here we go. Yeah, Blue is doing fantastic down here in the ninja base. This must have been Red, right? I don't know. I didn't see anything about who left the game, but either way, let's do a little post game analysis here over at the Evil headquarters. So I liked the early game. You know what? We'll do analysis later when I'm done coughing. On to the next match. Alright, and we're here for our third Metal League Monday Vanguard Edition map of the day. We've got our Blue Vanguard player that went for a barracks first and has got 2 idle bobs. And we've got... oh, it looks like this dog was taken out. You can tell from the very human-shaped skull that it was a dog. Alright, both players are supply blocked. Looks like player 2 probably won't be for much longer. Oh no, that wasn't a dog. What was that? What died? Or was it a Bob? There's no way a Bob left behind a skeleton, right? I don't know what else it would be, though. Alright, a little bit of dog v dog. Man, if that's not a flashback, I don't know what is. Okay, and we're still pretty early in the game. We saw... I wonder if these players are following a build order or not, and they know that, like, you go barracks first, then a hab, and you kind of scout around a little bit, see what your opponent's building, and then you kind of start reacting to that. Should be 3... there we go, 3 bobs. On Ethereum, 3 bobs on... 4 bobs on Ethereum over here. Okay, player 2's scout's gonna get in there, but he's gonna be biting second, so it'll die first if he sticks around. I think, I don't know, I missed this one. I didn't see if any of the mobs were stolen, but it looks like one of the scouts did get some radioactive blood on him, so they were certainly close enough to try and steal the mobs. But Lancers have a pretty long reach with that Final Fantasy VII Buster Sword they've got carrying around there. And it's going to be 3 Lancers coming up into the natural of player 1, who's got almost no army on the map. He's got to figure out what he's doing like the day before yesterday. That one scout is going to be pulling, or was going to be pulling the 4 scouts of player 1 here. And this might just be a very early no, cancel! Nice cancel. This might just be an early game. Yeah, it's just a single Lancer out for player 1. None of the bobs were lost, which is nice. One scout goes down. Any more? Yeah, there's no way that these scouts live. 2, 3 scouts. Oh. Heal hugs, heal hugs! Okay, so take that down as a note. If you're watching this guy who played, that heal hugs is when Bobs all kind of like stop what they're doing and they heal each other. That's a great use of the buzzsaw cannon, by the way. But yeah, the Bobs are overcharged, so they've got so much armor. Let's see here. They've got 25 armor, which is great. And if they're sitting there healing one another, they'll just heal like whoever the injured one is, so they can. The full health Bobs will like gang up and multi-heal the Bobs that are lowest on health and stuff, and you can waste a lot of an opponent's DPS by doing heal hugs. I love seeing the Repair-Matic out here, taking care of the Bobs that need healing while they're on the move. It's not like it's an SCV situation where like the SCV has to catch up to the injured one, heal it a little bit while it's still trying to move, and then it has to catch up again once it returns to the mineral or whatever it was mining at the time. No, the Repair-Matic with the beam is pretty nice. Nice little quality of life thing. See, second barracks going down over here for blue, but red already has his first mech bay up. Is it his first? No, it's his third. 3 mech bays here. Yeah, and red's just going to be taking out this natural. And things are not looking good for our blue player. Is that another sentry post? No, you gotta have like 2 more Bobs working on getting that sentry post up, because it is going down. Yep, there it goes. Okay, so you don't have any mechanical units that could benefit from the Repair-Matic. You've got to get a Lancer in there. There we go. Nice. Good job getting a Lancer in there. Yeah, I think blue's dead. He just doesn't know it. That's so much damage on an Exo. There we go. The flat cannon's out now. That should provide a lot more range. And it's still doing AoE damage as well. Now it is doing AoE, but the area of effect is pretty small, and the Lancers and the Hedgehogs are relatively larger units, so it's not going to get as great connections as it would, like, say, on a clump of Exos that are all standing next to each other. But hey, AoE is still AoE. It's still good. Yeah, and it looks like player 2 is just going to leave now. I think honestly player 2 could have won right there. Red Vanguard could have won. And if nothing else, just camp out at the natural location. Because yeah, look, now player 1's going to spend all these resources turtling up, while player 2 has free reign over the entire map. Like, literally just go build another command post and get up to 3 base while your opponent's on 1. And then, I mean, you could just like, no, that'd be BM. I was gonna say you could like just build a whole bunch of Bobs, overcharge them, and then like move them into this, and then just drown your enemy in Bobs. But that would be super BM. All right, Machine Lab finishes up, and instantly, man, this should have been player 2's replay that I downloaded, because right when it finishes, we see the Hedgehog range going down. That is way too many Bobs to be building a command post. There's really no efficiency gain after the 5th one, I think it is. It's better to just send 5, let your other Bobs like mine something else. I guess there's nothing else to mine, is there? But anyway, there's 12 of them, and now they're all ready to go, and they're instantly saturating, completely saturated this base, so it's looking good. Oh no, is that all? Is that the only thing that Blue Vanguard has for an army? I think it is. Ah, that's painful. That is painful. Taking the 3rd at this location this isn't the first time I've seen someone take the 3rd at this location, and I guess it makes sense. I don't know why it feels more natural for me for someone to try and take this as a 3rd. You know, and then it's a Vanguard player. You can just throw down a scrapyard right here or something. But Yeah, this is a lot of Hedgehog. This is a lot of Vulcans, actually. Those Vulcans are expensive. And we're still, like, this is just out and out rough. A couple of overcharged Bobs are going to come forward and probably try to build another command post. Maybe? But yeah, this is definitely player two's game to lose. He's up on 3. Does he have... Yeah, he's fully saturated there. That scrapyard must have just finished up while those Bobs were returning the Therium back to base. And so much enriched Therium. 13 workers total on all that enriched Therium means that they're going to finish it off here pretty quickly. It means that, like, we're going to see a spike in Therium here pretty quickly, and we do. Now, to player one's credit, he is spending his money as quickly as he can, but this is just so much red army. I think there's just no holding. There's just no holding if player 2 just decides to move into the back of the base and then go get a cup of coffee. I will say, like, there should be a degree... Oh, no, the V5 is already so far forward. I was going to say that there's a degree of control that you need to show a little bit when you're going to go for a kill move like this. Like, I get that you want to stage your units all together in the same place, but understanding that your Hedgehogs are going to get there a lot sooner than the rest of your army will is pretty important, because if you show up and you're only fighting with, like, half of the supply of your units, and a lot of them go down, like, it's kind of rough, like losing those units to a trickle feed, only to have them only to have the rest of your army show up, and again, it's just being drip fed in. Holy sentry posts. Alright, I know I said I like the sentry post because it's the best unit in the game, and I stand by that, but it's just this is a lot of sentry posts now that have been built. Alright, we are seeing Nanoswarm going down here for blue, but we don't have any mechanical units for Nanoswarm to get onto. I wonder if the idea is just to make Nanoswarm in order to have access to System Shock at the MedTech Mastery Training upgrade. And we will see. Because there's no way of knowing, because there's no way of checking the Mastery level for a MedTech just by clicking on them. Alright, Red, come on. You've got him in a chokehold. Just go for it. Just go for it. There we go. Throw some promotes down if you want to. Get some scouting in if you want to. Get a fidget spinner up here if you want to. That might be a little close to the flat cannon. Going up to his, what is that, 5th base now? His 4th is up and running, fully saturated. 3rd is fully saturated. 4th is halfway done. Dude, just go. Just go. Oh, you're waiting for your Sentinels? Yeah, that's going to be the game decider right there. You wouldn't have been able to steamroll as hard without your Sentinels. There we go. See a bunch of promotes going down. Player 2, I've honestly been pretty impressed with player 2 at this league. Using promotes, using his top bar, using his resources, expanding everywhere. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if this is, I don't want to say a Smurf, but you know, maybe it's someone that's much better than their ladder position implies. Oh, the big blue bubble comes down. Love to see that. So many Vulcans dash forward. What the Gundam wing was that? That was just that was a lot of Gundams dashing forward. And the Rampart is reinforcing this flat cannon. The Bob's doing their best to repair it up. Yeah, I think these the Vulcans and the Hedgehogs though are going to DPS it down faster than it can get healed, and that's enough. Player 1 leaves the game after being behind basically the entire time. Kind of getting away from the sound effects there. I think the biggest takeaway from me was that even though it was a replay from Blue's perspective, like player 1 is always the person that the replay is coming from Untapped. But player 2 just played a flat-out better game. You know, controlling their resources, making sure that they were getting upgrades the moment that the upgrade building was ready. They even had I guess they did use the hangar bays, but yeah, the game knowledge seemed to be a lot stronger for red here. So anyway, we're on to game number 4, another VVV. It definitely was not intentional for me to have so many VVV games. I really just downloaded the games that looked like they had interesting upgrades. Although I guess at this level, it might be it might be more useful for players to see just standard play and really tightening up. Like, hey, here's what the first 2 minutes of a game should look like every single time. You know, like, don't mess with it. This is what the first 2 minutes look like every single time. Player 2 showing us that the scout cannot out DPS 2 Bobs that are giving each other heal hugs. Yeah, so blue scout's got nothing better to do. Goes and gets a cabbage. Nice. I like it. And red scout's going to get all the way back into the back of player 1's base. Should be able to anyway. And not see a whole lot. Yeah, he's going to see that the Pocket Expo's up. But yeah, it's very, very similar, borderline mirrored here from red and blue. Looks like blue's barracks went up first, though. I'm surprised that those Bobs weren't shift-clicked to go over to the Luminite mine once they were done. It's kind of painful watching watching idle workers just doing absolutely nothing, just because there's always, like, you never have the amount of resources you want, you never have the number of production structures you want, so seeing workers idle is very, kind of makes my eye twitch a little bit. Also, I have this theory that the value lost or value gained isn't measured in unit supply or unit value or you know, workers or whatever. I think the baseline currency for this game, as well as StarCraft 2 for that matter, is worker time. How many worker seconds does it take to make a Lancer, or how many you know, seconds of overcharged Bob time does it take to build a habitat? Yeah, I really think worker time is the ultimate defining factor of value in this game, but it's much harder to measure that. It's not easy to accurately measure, especially like, okay, well, does the value change from the Bobs that are mining on the outside of the Luminite rock to the guys that are mining on the inside? Maybe. You know, what do you do about weird bases like... Are there any on this map? I don't think so. But there are some where it's like, okay, now your command post is kind of parked off diagonally, and there's a Bob that's like getting Therium, which doesn't have like a distance minimum for a structure to be built near it. So I get that. But I still think that worker seconds is the best measurement of like just how valuable something is to be created or killed. If it takes a long time for something to be killed, or if it takes a long time to rebuild something that you just killed off, then it was a good grab. All right, finally, we're here almost at 4.5 minutes, and we're going to see the first camp. No, not the first camp. The second camp being taken. It's nice to see. Oh, loses the scout to one of the telegraph attacks. That's unfortunate. But is going to reap the benefits of getting all those extra resources from killing off the camps. I like how he sits on it and holds it for a while, too. Alright, some overcharged Bobs. Now, are the Bobs going to be a part of the assault force as well, or are they just going over here to build a third? I suspect it's for the third now. Yeah. Alright. This is almost too many units. You're gonna clear this camp with ease. All right, Shadow Demon goes down, and red player splits his army, possibly to go to the Vision camp down at the bottom there. I think it was Oriole that mentioned the other day that this map is Vanguard favored, just because there's no. Oh no, that's not true. There are some light tagged creep camps. There's the speed camps, but by and large, the Therium camp and the Vision camps are all heavy armor tag, which hedgehogs do fantastic against. And Infernal doesn't really have any good anti-heavy tools at their disposal earlier on in the game, so Vanguard players have more of an opportunity, I think, to clean them up. To clean up camps around the map. And then for Celestials, yeah, the same thing. They have, I mean, they start off with the Argent, which is anti-heavy. Wait for the Lancers to show up. I like it. Oh, that dog was taking hits there for a second, though. Pipers have their, where is it? The Hurt Stick and Propane Pain Stick. Interesting that it's a Hurt Stick and a Pain Stick. They're two separate ones and they have the exact same stats. So do they actually have two different sticks? Yeah, kind of a slow game this time around. We're not seeing a whole lot of aggression. We're not seeing a whole lot of poking and prodding. It's mostly just been Red. Honestly, Red being fantastic about spending their money and getting camps and stuff. But Blue's been better about actually expanding. This is the fourth. I don't know how I feel about taking the Ninja fourth when you have this right here that's going unused. It's good if it doesn't get scouted, but we have seen people scout out here before. Okay, so player 2's going for the the Luminite mine, the Luminite camp, excuse me. And we've got, actually, we might be a little heavy on medtechs, to be honest. Depends if they have nanoswarm or not, but even then, three medtechs for what? 5 hedgehogs? Seems like a little bit of overkill. The cleaver, what is it? The divisive axe, that's right. Yeah, thank you, Itano. That's exactly what I was trying to get across. I'm glad there's denizens of chat that are clued into my terrible sense of humor. Okay. Oh, but Red gets over to the Therium camp just as Blue's army's walking by, and we're seeing a lot of Vulcans out of player 1 here. Oh no, they're gonna catch one. It's just gonna do absolutely nothing. Gets healed up by the medtech almost instantly. Now, what is player 2 gonna do? His entire army is really sandwiched into this this Therium camp, so I guess it's just gonna be player 2's last stand here. We're gonna see a lot of these very charged up Lancers kind of try to charge into the back line there of player 1. Do we see a? We might have seen a shield go down, but I didn't see it. There goes the last Vulcan. There goes the last Medtex. And yeah, player 2, despite kind of being more active on the map and getting more bounties from the creep camps, is way down in supply, almost by 60. So yeah, now Blue can just go win. Player 1, go win. I wonder if this is another thing that's about if it's a Meta League thing where they don't know just how far ahead they are, so they're very like hesitant to move forward and just go for the kill. Hopefully we don't see that that kind of hesitation, but Let's see. Yep, march across the map. Who cares about getting camps? Go win. You can go win. Ah. Yeah, you gotta wait for that last Vulcan. That last Vulcan is the deciding factor on whether or not you can take this vision camp. There you go. Starts it off. Do we see... What do we see? Oh, wow. Double-solared mech bay here. We don't see any upgrades coming out of the machine lab. And it looks like player one really is getting away with this this ninja base. He hasn't fully saturated it just yet. I think he's working on it. But yeah, player one, again, not pressing his advantage as much as he should, I think. Are these going to be slow? Yeah, those are slow atlases that are making their way downtown, walking fast. Faces past and they're homebound. That's painful to watch too. Watching Lancers just kind of dance the front line. I don't know what they think those mobs are going to get done, but I have my doubts. Oh man, a bunch of atlases firing from the high ground actually does look pretty cool. That's a fantastic use of this vision camp. Now that the more that I think about it, it's like you can reposition and get an enemy trying to like fight up a ramp a long time if you've got atlases up there, and there's only 2 ramps up. It'd be pretty easy to reposition. Yeah, see a little bit of a counterattack here from red. I don't know how effective it's going to be. Oh, some of these atlases getting caught out. Yeah, nothing in this army shoots up. There's one hedgehog that'll shoot up. Taking out the expensive units is going to be the priority here. One atlas already falling. I think he's missing out on DPS by not starter stepping forward to get rid of these atlases. Yep, now the Vulcans. Do the Vulcans next. Oh my gosh, they have nothing that shoots up. Go kill! Go kill, kill, kill! You're up by almost 100 supply. I know you don't know that in-game, and you think it's a lot closer than it actually is, but just go kill your opponent. Go kill your opponent before their eco gets online, and then you're actually in trouble. Fidget spinner going over the blue army there. Enough that player 2, I think, sees what was on the way to his base. So he should be... Actually, I'm surprised he's not freaking out and heading straight home. Because he definitely doesn't know that the blue army is right here. There we go. And just I think just the Hornets alone are going to be able to finish off this entire army. Not the chicken! Alright, blue with a lot of versatility in his composition. I do like the amount of Hornets that are sticking with the army. It's not just a, hey, you know, Hornets can ignore terrain, so they're automatically a backdoor unit. Oh, Sky Mine's being thrown down. You never see those. Okay, come on. Just go kill. Go kill. You're almost at double your opponent's supply. You're nearly maxed out at 300. Just go kill your opponent. Just do it. Yeah, sentry posts are getting pretty melted. This, oh, huge hits from the Atlas there. Alright, so we did see a Sky Mine go off there. Another one went off. I'm liking these all this Sky Mine usage. Throws down a shields up on an Atlas, which isn't really providing much DPS right now. I know the game's like basically already over now. Yeah, there it is. But I was gonna say, like, throwing down a shields up on an Atlas that can't really defend itself anyway. Might as well throw it on something else, like I mean, well, not an Exo, but yeah, maybe a Hornet, or if a Hedgehog comes out, pops out of one of these, throwing it, like sieging it up, throwing down shields up, and then having it sit right next to the Repair-matic would be pretty good. But we'll never know. That was the end of the game. GG's, guys. All right, guys, we are in Game 5 now of Metal League Mondays Vanguard Edition. Here in patch 0.2.0, Holiday Hotfix, not 0.2.1. It's 0.2.0 - Holiday Hotfix. Seeing the first Lancer coming out of player 1's barracks, and nothing coming out of player 2's barracks, which is interesting. I would imagine, yeah, like, I'd imagine you would want to cancel that, Bob, just to get the Lancer out a little bit faster, so you don't have to deal with the dog harasses fast, but it's alright. We already see the second Lancer coming out here for player 1. Do love to see that. Yeah, and it's immediately going to be for this health camp. Now, what I have seen in the past is someone will send a Lancer and a Bob to come over here and take on the health camp. Just because Bobs are so tanky, they'll start the fight with the Lancer, the Bob will chill out like over here, and oh no, this slime isn't getting hit. But anyway, the one Lancer will basically tank all the hits from all 5 slimes until there's only 2 slimes left, and then he'll leave. The Bob will come in and start tanking because the Lancer's about to die, and then the Lancer comes in and finishes it off. Doesn't matter all that much. The fight's over pretty quickly anyway. See 4 overcharged Bobs. I think typically it's 5, but you know what? I'm actually starting to like lower Bob counts when they're overcharged, going for the natural. I think we saw Dopamine doing only 3 overcharged Bobs to build the natural, and then keeping the other ones on mining duty. And he was able to put like a pretty big stick in the bike wheels of some Celestial players with that build. Now, what Dopamine does in other matchups, I think would be also interesting to watch. But yeah, that'll be for a different video or a different stream. So the first mech bay is up. We don't see the barracks being sold. I don't know if that's on purpose, but it does look like player 2 is going full pedal to the metal on mech. We don't see a single Lancer out right now. So it probably would be better just to sell off that barracks and maybe have enough money to start another Hedgehog a little bit earlier or something. I don't know. Oh, wait. Wasn't this... yeah, the health camp was cleared out before they built the command post. They could have built the command post right here. And had the Bobs walking through the health field as they're mining, which is my preference. That and the command post is, like, further away from the ramp. Yeah, it's closer to the cliff here, but getting good surface area from a cliff onto a like a high ground command post is no easy task. And actually, now that I think about it, I don't know that this vision camp. Actually, you know what? I think the vision camp still does see the command post if it's built right there. Disregard that. Okay, so we've got the BK lab up, single barracks. We don't have any mech structures up, and it looks like, all right, so player 1's maybe a little bit scared that there's going to be a big attack coming. This is their second sentry post in the natural. That's interesting. All right, command post is coming up to a central command here. What's he going to do with it, though? I think that just unlocks med techs, but we've only got 1 production structure and 1 upgrade. Here we go. Here's the mech bay, finally. Fidget spinner coming on over to the natural. No. Why Why was the fidget spinner sent there? I don't know. Maybe it was like a mini-map thing. And didn't have the time to like click over on his opponent's base and then click the fidget spinner power and click on the actual geography. I don't know. Alright, Hedgehog's taking down those heavily armored mobs. Easy peasy. They get the... Oh, yeah. Yeah. That would definitely be within vision range. Oh, no, but 2 Lancers trying to defend against all these Hedgehogs is a disaster-tastrophe waiting to happen. No, pull him back into the safety of the thing. Woo! That had to have been like 1 HP. A couple of Exos being purpose-built just for the flat cannons, and it's enough to scare away the Hedgehogs. I think the Hedgehogs could actually burst down the sentry post, and then that would really be a world of trouble here. I think they could like dodge in, burst one down, come back out and wait for the rockets to resupply, and then dive back in, take out another flat cannon. That would be it. Sentry post on sentry posts. Player 1, you're so respectful. You're so scared. I'm just gonna say that. You're a bit too scared of your opponent. I get that their supply is like way bigger than yours, but sentry posts can't move, and therefore they're not really effective as a military stand-in defensively. It is nice that they can get repaired, but you still need something to be active out on the map, because if not, then player 2 is just going to run around and get every single camp. Oh, the Skull Squisher. Wait. Demolition Fists. Okay. It's the Bruiser. The Bruiser's weapon is the Meaty Mitts. I love some of these weapon names. Alright, here comes the V5 Pencil Sharpener. It's going to push the Hedgehogs out of the way, which was interesting. I wonder if the Hedgehogs are able to like push it forward faster than it should normally be able to go. I wonder. Anyway, do we see enough defensively? Holy, player 1, you are trying to make the Battle of Helm's Deep happen before the custom game editor is out. And I don't think it's going to work. Yeah, here comes the V5 rocket launcher. It's going towards the natural, or is it just going to stay there and do nothing? There we go. Going for the habitat. It's a little bit of work done on the habitat. And, ooh, a thumbs up is thrown down on the pencil sharpener. I'd like it. Bop. No, the projectile is just so dodgeable, though. Which is kind of nice. I do appreciate the fact that, because it's got such a wide AoE and it does so much damage. Yeah, that's 120 damage to structures. I can appreciate that the projectile is slow. Not that structures can dodge shots, but even 70 damage in such a wide AoE is pretty strong for a siege camp. But like Red's doing like all the right moves though. Again, this is one of those instances where player 2 is doing better than the player that actually submitted or that's responsible for Untapped having the replay, player 1. Because look, player 2 has their natural, they're expanding to a 3rd. We saw Vulcans on the map, so their economy's doing well. I think they know that they've got player 1 really scared and really in a defensive position just by the nature of how many sentry posts were thrown down. And think about it, like, that's another thing to think about, is every single one of these sentry posts that has an Exo in it is supply that's not moving around the map. Look! Here's a Repairmatic that's getting nothing done. Flat cannon, flat cannon, flat cannon, flat cannon, flat cannon. And those are all Exos that could be contributing DPS to maybe the health camp. Or maybe the, you know, one of the resource camps. Would be kind of nice, because really the army supply here for player 1, I mean, despite both players having basically equal supplies, the army just looks a whole lot less intimidating out of player 1. Meanwhile, player 2 finishing up their 4th base, I think they just know that that player 1's just too scared to expand. And if they do expand, they're going to be like building 3 more sentry posts right next to everything before they build any more army units. So it's not like there's any threat. Player 2 is like, you know what? I think I will just surge ahead in terms of macro. So hopefully we're going to see more production structures coming up here. We don't at the natural. Oh, and the natural's got like a perfectly diagonal mining? No, 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 no. I don't like that. Especially when they're when they're winning right now. Like, I guess I had to build it before that. But even then, like, it's just so suboptimal. Player 1, why are you floating 1100 Luminite and almost 4 digits Ethereum as well? For those of you that are interested in knowing, like, how do you spend more money effectively, is getting production structures. A single, okay, here we're on 2 barracks and a single mech bay. It's, you know, we're 11 minutes into the game, more production structures. If you're going to mine more, be able to produce more. Being able to remax faster is such a blessing in a 1v1, because if it takes your opponent longer to remax than it takes you to remax, you show up with more army and you win. Interesting that player 1's putting some army units here. And actually, they've got enough exos. They can challenge these shadow demons. Wouldn't be really an issue at all. But man, Big Daddy Vulcan's gonna come forward and chew those exos up if they come looking for a fight. Another thing I'm noticing, yeah, look, like he's setting up the atlases like he's scared of that red's around every single corner. Another thing that I'm noticing, kind of in these lower level Vanguard games, is, look, okay, now player 2's maxed out on orbital energy, in addition to floating 1k 1100 Ethereum or Luminite. But yeah, spend your orbital energy. Like, it needs, if it's not regenerating, it's just lost opportunity. Every tick of orbital energy that doesn't get used is wasted. Alright, I appreciate the effort dashing into the skull squisher. Here, can you see the stats? But I believe, oh no, we don't get to see the tags on the minions, on the creeps, and I don't understand why. Okay, we are going to see a scout coming on through. No. Don't use it to do damage. Use it to leave. Yeah, because now that scout is stuck and it's dead. And look at all this information. Like, knowing that there's nothing in the natural would have been huge. Knowing that this is where the mech bays are, and there's nothing really preventing, you going from here straight to the mech bays, nuking them down, and that's the end of the production, would be very valuable. Oh, the V5 rocket launcher getting juicy shots off. The shields up goes down on both the artillery platforms here, and now it's, I guess it's Medtech's trying to auto-attack Vulcans. It's one of the strangest interactions I've ever seen. Good use of the healing nano swarm though, and these exos are going to make short work of these atlases. What am I watching? Blue coming out of his shell and just firing on all cylinders. Takes a third. Wipes out a lot of player 2's army. Okay, but no, here's the Vulcans. And the Vulcans doing AoE damage. Yeah, exos are allergic to AoE damage just because of how small they are. Everything is allergic to AoE damage in RTS. But another useful thing to know about the Medtech heal. No way! No way did player 1 actually pull that off. GG's. I love to see it. By the way, another thing that I love to see, in terms of like little visual things that I like to notice sometimes, if a Vulcan is firing next to a cliff, the bullets that impact the cliff will come out like, it makes sense how the bullet impacts are coming up as opposed to the ones that splash off the ground. The ones that come out of the wall actually like come out of the wall. It's not just some static visual effect. Anyway, that is going to be it for Game 5. I think we've got one left for the Vanguard edition of Metal League Mondays. Alright guys, here we are, last Metal League Monday Vanguard edition game of the day, of the stream, of the video. Yeah, and here we are. It's just player 1 versus player 2. But this time it's against an Infernal player. Most of the games up till now have been against Vanguard. It's been the mirror matchup. But it is good to know. It's also good to know how your army performs in different matchups. So we've got an Infernal game in here. That's not how I choose which games to download from Untapped. I just choose the ones that have like interesting upgrades that don't typically get researched that much, and it makes for a more interesting game than you know, let's watch two opponents that are executing build orders that they saw kind of move against each other. All right, Conclave made 2 Gaunts. Iron Vault is just about to be online over here, and this is probably a meat farm. Yep, there it is. Alright, looks like it's going to be this half of the slimes that are going to go down faster. Actually, this that Lancer's being kind of inefficient with his attacks. He could have been hitting 3 slimes at once instead of just 2. Yeah, again, this slime wasn't getting touched at all by the Lancer attacks. Take maybe a little bit more damage than was necessary, but it's early enough in the game, and they can chill inside of this health camp for long enough that it won't really matter all that much, but it's little victories, small improvements. Maybe I'm just nitpicking, but hey, if you're trying to improve, that might be one area, just making sure your Lancers have good positioning before you start taking that first health camp. Okay, so we do see that that our Infernal player took their health camp as well. So what does this tell you as a Vanguard player? As a Vanguard player, it means that you can probably expect to see a couple of Fiends out on the map, so not teching out of Lancers early is something to watch out for that I've seen. We did see a replay earlier where there was a player that, oh yeah, dodge those telegraphed attacks. This is a lot of dogs. We saw a player earlier that was just, that was just like holding down the Exo button. They teched up the Exos and built nothing but Exos. 2 barracks on the natural. I do like seeing that. And it was to their detriment. And it was also against an Infernal player, because then the Infernal player just like said, like, okay, you've got the best, you've got like one of the best anti-heavy tools in the game. I think I'll build nothing but light units. And it was Gaunts and Weavers that ended up, I think it was, yeah, just Gaunts and Weavers that ended up winning that game, because the Exos weren't able to do all that bonus damage. And the Gaunts were able to infest every Exo that their axes hit because they were fully upgraded Gaunts. Okay, so there were some Fiends that got cleaned up pretty quickly here. The dogs also got cleaned up. I think the dogs kind of, having a dog or 2 for scouting purposes is nice, but having a dog hang out in combat, I think, is a mistake. But player 2 is comfortably up on 2 bases now. Got a good number of bobs on the Luminite mine. And again, for those of you that aren't aware, after 10 bobs, the efficiency of the mining drops off for the last 2. So the number on the mine will say 12 is the maximum, but really it's bobs number 11 and 12 that see a drop off in mining efficiency. But even then, it's still kind of nice to oversaturate these mines, just in case you have to pull off a bob or 2 to go build something, so that way you don't see any drop in mining just because something got called off to go build a structure. Okay, we are seeing a nicely balanced, actually, composition here from the Infernal player. We're seeing equal numbers of Gaunts and Brutes. I like that they're sending their units back onto Shroud just to regenerate some of that white health. Do we see a Ritual Chamber up yet? No. But the Greater Shrine is still coming online. I love this little animation and like the spiky flower that happens when the shrine turns into a Greater Shrine. 2 more Iron Vaults. I love seeing players that are building more production, anticipating that they're going to be expanding, so they don't want their ability to make more units fall behind their ability to like purchase the unit. That's one of the things that I struggle with anyway, is Like, I'll know that expanding is good. I should go expand, and I'll, like, go put workers on resources and stuff. But then after a fight, when I need to, like, remax my army and get replacements for everything, it just takes a long time because I didn't build enough production structures. So seeing other players do that, it just warms my heart, I tell you. Bruiser over here with the meaty mitts. Alright, so we do see quite a few Exos out now. One of them does get a veterancy chevron there. I don't know what you call a chevron if it's pointing down. But I'm going to call it a chevron because that's the closest thing that I can think of. Maybe they're in the Space Force. Maybe that's where they got the idea from. Alright, so a couple of Magmadons are out, and if it's just one Magmadon as a Vanguard player, not a big deal. If you have Quick Draw Hustle on your Exos, like he doesn't, then it's really not a big deal because you can just get more move speed every time you fire. Quick Draw Hustle is getting research though, which is nice. Truthfully, I usually put my research structures all the way in the back as well. I don't know why. That's just where they end up being. But yeah, so we've got a couple of dogs, a couple Lancers, quite a few Lancers actually, and a bunch of Exos. I think this won't match well against the Magmadons, but as a Vanguard player, like, moving your scout forward is always kind of a dubious proposition because you never know. Oh my, huge connection on the Nightfall Infestation there. Yeah, it's definitely telegraphed well enough that you should be able to dodge those. Keeping these Exos back, but too far back. You gotta be focusing down the Magmadons with your Exos. The Lancers need to get out of there and get to the Infernal backline to start taking care of all those Gaunts. The Gaunts are very susceptible to AoE damage, and they suffer a whole lot to the anti-light damage that the Lancers do. See, we see a bit of a flank here from the northwest into the backline of the Infernals. Both Magmadons did go, or no wait, one Magmadon went down. There's the other one, and he should be able to pick off that one. The stomp starts, but it stops immediately. He's able to snipe the skull out of the air too, and these brutes should also be some pretty good efficiency for him. And that was some veterancy gained out of there, but I think that fight could have gone a little bit better just because it started off with the Magmadons stomping, which they should do. But there was more than enough time for our Vanguard player to retreat. You don't want to give good. What was that noise? Is that the noise the fidget spinner makes? What? I've never seen the fidget spinner make noise before. I've never heard it make noise before, rather. Alright, Lancers fighting shoulder to shoulder against Infernals is always fun. Until the Magmadons show up like they do right there. There we go. Now the Exos, again, need to focus fire on heavy tag units, such as the Magmadon. They do have Quick Draw Hustle up, so they should be, there we go, doing a little bit of a stutter step. The Lancers over there in the northwest, again, doing a good job, but they've got to leave. They've got to leave. There we go. Now player 2's in a fantastic position. The Lancers that just stand still and give good surface area to Magmadons that are stomping just make me kind of like curl up and I don't know, clench my fists and be like, why is this happening? Why am I watching this? Shroudstone gets popped instantly, but a Superstone gets thrown down, and now it's player 2's turn to back up a little bit. Let the med techs regenerate a little bit, maybe get a health flower. Cabbage, excuse me. It's a cabbage, not a flower. Flowers don't have raspberry jelly inside of them. Cabbages do, obviously. And yeah, it looks like... Okay, cool. It looks like our Vanguard... Whoa, getting both of the level 3 upgrades for the Exo and Lancer. Pretty spicy, actually. Survival Protocol is such a cool upgrade, I think. And then this one, it's not very interesting, but it does make a tanky unit even tankier, so it kind of leans into that unit identity. I'm okay with it. Nice third. And player 2 knows that, you know, an army that's not active isn't useful, so going to take this vision camp and hopefully continues to cycle around the map to take more camps. Lancers are able to get through this light forestation. And they start off by, focusing down the big guy in the middle, the Bruiser. And that's an easy Luminite camp. Wow. Alright, so player 2 is controlling both of the Luminite camps. I actually think this is a big mistake on the part of player 1 not going after the Luminite camps, because just having them sit there is actually a lot of money for whoever's controlling it. There we go. Yep, might as well go for the health camp too. Get the money out of this one. Have a little bit of a place to retreat to if the fight's over and it didn't go favorably, or even if it did go favorably, just come back here and heal up a lot of these. You know, some of the higher veterans. We see some 3 Chevron Exos in there, but healing up the Lancers as well, just because they're so tanky and they're so useful. A helicarrier on the map. Whoa. Helicarriers are one of those units that seem long range enough that they... Oh, and Venom Traps on the field too. What am I watching? This is awesome. You see more variety out of the lower league games than you do out of the pro games. See how much cool stuff you can, like, how many cool different builds happen when you don't have to worry about playing optimally. Yeah, I know it's not better, but it's cool. Oh, that one Lancer giving vision to the entire attack squad coming forward here. Oh no, and another great connection from that Venom Trap. Another Superstone goes down. Nightfall Infestation goes down, but kind of like right in the middle. Oh, what a bombing run that was. That was awesome. Lancers fighting at the front line. Some of these Exos having trouble getting to the front line, but the Helicarriers are able to rain down punishment from the skies here, and there's 4 of them. That's the magic number of Helicarriers that you want to just be obliterating armies here. The Shrine of the Natural goes down, and that's it. We didn't see a GG, but yeah, once the production started going, the expansion was down. Yeah, I don't think this third was even... It was just about to finish up, but that wasn't nearly enough compared to the 3, 4 and a half bases that the Vanguard player had. The Helicarriers were a little bit unexpected, but not unwelcome. But no, I think this Vanguard player actually played really well. GG's. Good job. So that's it. That was the last game for our Meta League Mondays Vanguard Edition. I'm going to be trying to do these pretty regularly with all the different factions and just doing some analysis on maybe mistakes that I saw or things that didn't make sense. And hopefully that'll help the people that are lower on the ladder climb up to eventually challenge the pros. Thanks for coming by, and I don't know, don't do drugs or something.